I bought a remote property from the Maddox Heirs. Cheap, quiet, perfect, until I found out why they wanted it gone. I thought I bought a forgotten piece of land, but what I really bought was a secret the Maddox family paid to bury. The house they abandoned, the door they sealed, and the darkness they tried to contain. None of it stayed buried. And now, it's following me. When I bought the Maddox land, I thought I'd struck gold. 30 acres of untouched forest, a broken-down farmhouse, and a crumbling barn, all for less than half the price of surrounding properties. It was practically a giveaway. The heirs were eager to sign it over, not even interested in negotiating. They just wanted it gone. That should have been my first red flag. But I was too focused on the possibilities. I saw a peaceful retreat. They saw something they were paid to forget. The first day I arrived, the wind didn't feel right. Not a breeze, more like the trees themselves exhaled when I stepped through the rusted gate. The ground was soft, not like mud, but like something hollow was beneath the surface. The air was unnaturally still, except for the crows. They circled constantly above the property line, never landing, always watching. The house was worse than I expected. Everything inside was decayed, untouched for what looked like decades, though the Maddox heirs claimed they'd been maintaining it. Furniture covered in sheets, dust thick enough to write on, and a strange smell. Rotting wood, maybe, but with something else. Metallic, sour, almost like rusted blood. Upstairs, I found a locked door at the end of the hall. Old iron bolts and a wooden plank nailed across it. I thought it must have been a panic room or attic storage. I made a note to return with tools. That night, I slept in my truck, too uneasy to stay inside. Around 2-3 a.m., I heard something, soft scratching against the rear window. I turned, expecting to see an animal. There was nothing. Then the sound came again, but this time from the driver's side. I flicked on the lights. Still nothing. But when I stepped out with my flashlight, the woods didn't look the same. The trees were closer than they were in the daytime. And the path I'd walked in on was gone, swallowed, like the land didn't want me to leave. The next morning, I went back into the house and tore open the locked door. It wasn't a room. It was a staircase, spiraling down into complete darkness. No electricity ran through the house, so I used my flashlight. The walls were carved stone, damp and narrow. I counted 27 steps before reaching a wooden door at the bottom. Behind it was a small room, round, silent, and lined with shelves full of jars, hundreds of them, each sealed, each filled with some dark, swirling substance. Some looked like dirt, others I couldn't tell. In the center of the room sat an altar. Carved symbols surrounded it, ones I didn't recognize. Bones, maybe animal, were arranged carefully across it, bleached white and tied together with red string. And there was a book, old, leather-bound, its cover cracked and crawling with mold. I didn't touch anything. I couldn't. Something about the room made my chest tighten. I felt like if I stayed too long, I'd start forgetting who I was. When I got back upstairs, I tried calling the Maddox family. No answer. Not even voicemail. I went into town that afternoon, hoping to find someone who knew the history. The clerk at the gas station froze when I mentioned the Maddox property. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Should have burned down years ago," he muttered. "They all knew it. Paid good money to keep it quiet." He refused to say more, but an older woman nearby overheard and pulled me aside outside. "You need to leave," she said. "That land's not right. It was never meant to be sold." She told me the Maddox family had a child, a daughter born in 1947, but she was wrong. The girl had black eyes, refused to speak, and animals died whenever she was near. At first they hid her, but when the neighbors started asking questions, they built that room, that altar. They made offerings, performed rituals, tried to keep whatever was inside her from spreading. But it didn't work. One night in 1963, the girl vanished. No one saw her leave. Her room was locked from the inside. But 3 people in the town died that night. Heart attacks, seizures, unexplained bleeding. The family boarded up the house and left it. For 60 years, it sat empty. Until me. I didn't go back right away, but I couldn't stay away either. I needed answers. I needed to see that room again. I needed to know if it was real or if I was just imagining all of it. When I returned, the front door was open. I hadn't left it that way. Inside, the house was different. The dust was gone, the furniture rearranged, like someone had been living there all along. At the top of the stairs, the floorboards creaked beneath invisible footsteps. I didn't run. I should have. The last thing I remember before I blacked out was a whisper, low, barely audible, coming from the cellar door. "Why did you bring me back?" I woke up in the woods outside the property line. Mud caked on my clothes, dried blood under my fingernails. My phone was gone, my truck wouldn't start. I walked 12 miles to the nearest police station. When they checked the Maddox house, they found nothing. The staircase was sealed with bricks. The altar room didn't exist. No bones, no jars, nothing. But when they asked me to show them where the truck was, I took them to the spot. And there was no house at all. Just trees and an old, rusted gate, half buried in the dirt. Now, every night, I hear the whisper. It comes through the walls, through the trees, through my dreams. I didn't buy land. I bought a doorway. And whatever I let out, it followed me home. The Maddox land is still out there, sealed, silent, but not empty. If you ever find it, don't open the door.